It's the Wild Wild West in the NBA as the top teams in the league in point differential are all in the Western Conference. The Thunder, the Nuggets, and the Rockets are all outscoring their opponents by over 11 points a night. And that trio was all in action on Wednesday. The champion Thunder improved to 15-1 on the season behind SGA's 33 points against the Kings. And he once said his whole life is consistent, and so are the Thunder by winning by big numbers. Then Nikola Jokic led the Nuggets to a win over the reeling Pelicans despite Derek Queen's 30 points and Zion and his return. Jokic notched another triple-double. Peyton Watson had a career-high 32 and helped Denver secure the dub. And the Rockets stuffed the Cavs behind Alperen Sengun and Kevin Durant, Houston's newest dynamic duo, combined for 48 points and gave the Rockets their 5th straight win, which is tied for the longest streak this season. Here's Sengun after the game.
I mean, I never back down on anybody. You know, that doesn't matter to anybody. Best defender in the league, so it's a clutch time. I'm just going to go through him. I'm just going to get my shot, you know, and just to finish the game.
All right, Perk, what are your thoughts on the top teams in the West?
Well, I didn't get the memo. I didn't get the funeral arrangements. I didn't know LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves. I didn't know the Lakers passed away. Y'all didn't tell me that. I didn't know they died. Why wasn't they on that graphic? That's the problem I have. You definitely got to put them up in there. 11-4 record. And when you watch the Lakers play, yes, you're getting MVP numbers from Luka Doncic. Yes, you're getting all NBA play from Austin Reeves. But damn it, it's the others. It's Rui Hachimura that's having a hell of a season right now. It's the return of LeBron James that's going to help DeAndre Ayton offensively and defensively, right? We know that they're going to put up points. We know that J.J. Redick is a hell of a coach when it comes to offensive schemes. Defensively is where they're going to they need LeBron James the most. That high IQ, that voice on the back line. So I'm looking at the Lakers and their top 4 team in the Western Conference.
I don't disagree. I mean, I put Golden State kind of right on the outside when healthy because they have the experience. They do have winners. There's a class that's right behind OKC and Denver, but to say that these guys are near them, I don't think it's even close.
Who?
Oh, Houston. They said Houston is close to OKC or like in the top tier with them. Nah.
You don't believe that to be the case?
No, I don't see it.
Danny, DG, come on now. Like, think about this for a second. OKC put a spanking on Golden State about a week ago. They had Draymond calling out his teammates, right? They embarrassed the Lakers, right? Opening night, they didn't do that to the Houston Rockets. It took a double overtime win for them to even get to that point. Now look, OKC should be the clear-cut favorite the way that they're balling led by SGA, and they're not even healthy. But when I look at the Rockets and you look at the rest of those teams, the Rockets are right in the thick of things.
Yeah, I do like how they're playing. I was wrong about them. With the injury of Fred VanVleet, I didn't think they'd be this good this early. But they're showing me some things. Again, OKC's in a class of their own, bro. There's nobody even close to them. Houston is making a case, but when it comes down to the playoffs, you need a steady point guard. You need somebody to set the table. And right now, they're developing Reed Shepherd, but I'm just not sure he's there or going to be there at that time.
Well, there was a team that took them to a 7th game, and then Aaron Gordon got hurt, and that changed kind of the dynamics of that potential series, Shams. What's different about those Denver Nuggets?
George, so it's interesting you say the name Aaron Gordon. So yesterday, before the game, there was soreness that he reports. And so the Nuggets have the luxury right now to sit him in a game. And last season, they just did not have that. There were serious issues with the depth on the Denver Nuggets. And so they sit Aaron Gordon. They allow him to have rest. There's full optimism. He will be a go in Friday's Cup game in Houston. But now you have Tim Hardaway Jr., Jonas Valanciunas, Bruce Brown Jr., Cam Johnson. He's going to hopefully turn his game up for the Denver Nuggets. They're able to play the young guys more as well. Guys like Peyton Watson, rely on them. So the depth to me is a big thing. And then Jamal Murray. He's playing, we talk about Jamal Murray's never been an all-star. He's averaging a career high 22.5 points per game. He's healthy. He's been more vocal than ever, from my understanding, within that Nuggets organization. He's on that all-star trajectory this year.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question.
What conference?
Well, he's going to be one of the part of the world team.
U.S. Remember,
all I'm saying is 22 points don't get you an All-Star game no more.
If you're
a top
number one
2, 3 seed.
But
they're not going to be that.
They're not going to be the number one seed. And they have too many guys. They have too many guys that are averaging too many points in the West.
And I make a case for Aaron Gordon, honestly, this year on the Denver Nuggets team of being an All-Star.
Well,
shooting at a high clip of 6% from three. He's having a career year.
We'll see. Let's get back to the Rockets here, led by Kevin Durant, who has gotten the headlines. But Alperen Sengun is playing at an elite level. The 23-year-old is the first Rockets player ever with 25 points, 10 boards, and 5 dimes in 3 straight games. Not Hakeem, not Barkley, not Harden, but Sengun.
Wow.
Burke. Take it.
Oh, hello, digital world. Feet finally on the wood. Here we are. We got the number one offensive team in the league, the Houston Rockets. And let me show you a big reason why on this clip, why they're the number one offensive team. Freeze! It's because it's baby Jokic, Alperen Sengun. He has a mismatch right here on Donovan Mitchell. Now, I want you to pause it for a second, leave it there because there's a lot going on right here. You have Evan Mobley, who's doing what he's supposed to do, using his 2-9 because he sees the mismatch. The only problem is it opens up a 2-on-1 for Steven Adams and Lamar Thompson on the opposite side, right? Which is Wade now has to guard 2 people. Run it. You have Alperen Sengun. He's starting his crab dribble like he does best. Evan Mobley comes to clear himself. Steven Adams frees it. Does an excellent job of occupying Wade so that it frees up Lamar Thompson to have the double flood, which he flashes to the dots and get this wide open pass from Alperen Sengun for the nice floater over Evan Mobley, and he knocks it down for 2 points. Now, this was the most important, most impressive possession of last night's games for the Houston Rockets, okay? You have this action going on. No Alperen Sengun is on the floor at the moment. It's a little bit over 5 minutes left to go in the game. It's a 3-point game. Now freeze it. I want you to look at everything that's going on with the Rockets. You have a shooter in Aaron Holiday that's on that strong side corner. You have a shooter that's in this weak side corner in Jabari Smith. And then you have the veteran Steven Adams holding the dunker spot, and he's pointing and telling Lamar Thompson, no, you be the screener. So it catches the Cavs off guard. Run it. All of a sudden, you see Lamar Thompson comes and set a hell of a screen for Kevin Durant. He's one of the most athletic players in the game. Great dynamic role, great pass, and we see him take off from the dots, finish over 7-foot Jared Allen for the 2-point make, which put them up by 5. And all of a sudden, we see the Rockets clicking on all cylinders. And not only that, that moment was one of the moments that pissed Kenny Atkinson off, is why we hear the sound that we're about to hear from him right now.
Well, they, how should I say, they enforced their identity when we did. And that's what this league comes down to. You have your identity and you got to go with it. And, it's the 3rd time they beat us, 3 in a row. So they've done a better job. They did 19 offensive rebounds. So yeah, credit to them. Heck of a team, contender. Tonight we couldn't stand toe to toe with them. Just wasn't there.
All right, before we get to the Cavs, Digital Perk is looking good.
Although real good.
A little small, right? You should be taller.
Look, less is better. Less is better.
Well, Perk, I don't know if less is better with the Cavs at this point, because you've been critical of them in the past. Why do they continue to have the same issues?
Well, they had a coach that was trying to give them identity. And J.B. Bickerstaff, they didn't want that. They didn't want the accountability. They didn't want a guy to come in and ruffle the feathers. We see what J.B. Bickerstaff doing with the Detroit Pistons right now. We don't question their identity. They're the only team in the Eastern Conference that have an identity. And what bothered me the most, DG, Shams, George, is that there's no way in hell last night that you walk into that game and let the Houston Rockets do what they do best.
Yeah.
Steven Adams is 6th all-time in rebounds per game in NBA history. They dominated them on the glass. They dominated them in the paint. And there's zero excuses because you have Evan Mobley, who is the reigning defensive player of the year. You have Jared Allen. You have two Twin Towers that are available. But the only reason that they're not getting it done is because they're soft. They're creamy in the middle.
It sounds like more of a character roster issue than it does a coaching issue.
Oh.
I was there when we had JB Bickerstaff. I think he's a really good coach. I don't know if he was the coach for that group. A coaching change needed to happen. I love what he's doing in Detroit. They're doing some great things, but I don't know if he was prepared for the experience in the playoffs. You know, that was one thing that we're concerned about him lacking. But the main thing you bring up is toughness. They've been lacking that for the last 2 or 3 years, and they've been known to, even though they have the size with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, they've been known to be bullied. They got bullied in the New York Knicks series. Every time they played Mitchell Robinson, they can't rebound. With the size you have, you should be able to rebound. And for them to get out-rebounded 51-39 is inexcusable. I know they're talking about trades, they're talking about Darius Garland, and they have had injuries, so I give them a little bit of grace. But ultimately, it comes down to toughness. Like you said, mental toughness, physical toughness, and not being bullied by the team. So they got to find a way to get some dogs or bring some dog out of those guys.
Danny, you mentioned injuries. Shams, are they expecting anyone back?
So Darius Garland's missed the last week and a half. It's that same toe that he had surgically repaired in the offseason. My understanding is there is hope that he will make his return to the lineup on Friday in their cup game against the Indiana Pacers. Think about last season. We saw at least 2 of these guys, between Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. 2 of those 4 were taking the court together. They staggered them in the rotation. They were healthy, and they played a lot. This year, we just have not seen it to that level. And say whatever you want about Darius Garland, he's one of 2 players in the NBA that last season averaged 20 points, 5 assists, 40% three-point shooting. Nikola Jokic and Darius Garland.
Yeah, certainly an important part of the puzzle, no question about it. All right, still to come, there's a new look. What does it feel like to be back on the floor for yourself?
It feels great. I mean, happy I can go out here and play this game, and I don't want to take any opportunity for granted, and I'm just happy I'm back out here.
And lastly, you finally get a road win here for this squad. What does that feel like?
Finally. Finally. I mean, we're happy, but we got a lot of work to do.
18 hours later, I'm right here. Danny, how you feel about this Knicks team right now?
They look okay, man. They're getting better. They still have some bumps and bruises along the road. OG Anunoby is not there. He would help a lot. But there is one concern that I have, and I talked about it the other night with my co-host Harrison Sanford. It's the defensive end of the floor. If you have 2 guys that are your superstars that you have to take out at the end of the game for offensive, defensive subs in Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, that is not a good sign. Because in the fourth quarter, that's crunch time. You need those guys on the floor. And you have Mitchell Robinson, you have to sub in for defense, who can't make free throws. You're at a disadvantage, and this is a weakness that you need to, this is a concern that you need to fix at some point.
Look, I don't want to sound like a hater, but the new offense that Mike Brown has, he has to find a way to find a balance. And when I say a balance, it's like they're turning into a jump shooting team, right? It's too many threes. We saw only a few times where Karl-Anthony Towns was put in position to attack downhill. If it's me, I gotta find a way to get him on that low block.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Cat is one of the most skilled bigs to ever play the game of basketball. And it's, to me, at times, they're not getting enough post-ups. They're not putting enough pressure on the defense in order to get to the free throw line, right? And slow the game down at times. And Cat is an emotional guy, DG George. He feeds off emotions. When he's playing great, feeling great offensively, you're going to get a better version of him defensively.
Yeah.